Good afternoon. Everyone, please be seated. Hello, my name is Bob Perrins, and I'm the Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs at Mount St. Mary's University. I'd like to thank the brass ensemble for the beautiful live music, for the prelude, and the processional for today's ceremony. I'm very pleased to be here today, and on behalf of the trustees, regents, faculty, staff, alumni, and special guests, and all of us at Mount St. Mary's University, I welcome you to Commencement 2018. It said the possible cheering was to be later, but that's all right. Now, before we proceed with the ceremony, I'd like you to know that our official photographers will be taking pictures today with your graduates, their faculty hooder, and the president. You may stand up to take photos for a moment, but we ask you not to leave your seats. Please welcome to the lectern the president of Mount St. Mary's University, Dr. Anne McElhaney Johnson.
Good afternoon. It is my pleasure to welcome you to our graduate commencement. On behalf of the faculty and staff at Mount St. Mary's University, I bring you greetings and our warmest congratulations on this moment of great accomplishment. At Mount St. Mary's, we aspire to excellence, and you, our graduates, are proof of that today, for now we celebrate the achievement of your excellence. We know you worked very hard to get to this moment, and we applaud you. I think that's worthy. We are grateful to your commitment to your education, and we take great joy in your sense of purpose and the passion you bring to your work across our areas of study. We are proud of your accomplishments and your understanding of the power of education. It has been our privilege at Mount St. Mary's to be a part of your journey. Our university's mission states that our measure of success is graduates who are committed to using their knowledge and skills to better themselves, their environments, and the world. We are confident that through your lives, you will do all three with distinction. On behalf of the entire university community, I congratulate you and wish you well. Please stay in touch with us as you live out the dreams that brought you here to Mount St. Mary's. Congratulations. It is now my pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker today, Dr. Robert Perrins. Bob joined the Mount St. Mary's University community in 2016 as the provost and academic vice president. Prior to joining the Mount, his career began as co-director of the Division of Research and Graduate Studies at Acadia University in Nova Scotia. Other positions included Dean of the Faculty of Arts, Vice President of Academics at Acadia University. Dr. Perrins has published and edited scholarly works and presented at international conferences in North America, Europe, and Asia. Bob received his Bachelor of Arts in History from McMaster University and holds a master's degree in history and a doctorate, both from York University. Please welcome Dr. Robert Perrins, our speaker today.
Thank you, Anne. Good afternoon. I'd like to begin my talk by thanking President McElhaney Johnson, the members of the Board of Trustees, the Mount's dedicated faculty, the assembled families and guests, and of course, today's amazing graduates for the tremendous honor of having a few minutes to speak with you today. Now, in the spirit of transparency, I should state that I am probably uniquely unqualified to be giving today's graduation address. The reason's not that I'm a Canadian, although I'd like to apologize in advance for my terrible accent, or that I'm a new member of the Mount community, having just moved here to LA from Nova Scotia a year and a half ago. But it's because I actually never attended any of my graduation ceremonies, including high school or when I completed my undergraduate, master's, or doctoral degrees. Now, this is not to say I've never attended a university graduation, as I attended over 30 while I served as a professor, dean, and academic vice president in Canada. and last year I had the pleasure of attending both the Mount's undergraduate and graduate ceremonies. But to be honest, and to the great disappointment of my parents, I've never sat where you sat today. Now, if not attending any of my graduation ceremonies was not bad enough, I should feel how I also disappointed my parents in another way. Now, I'm the first person on either side of my family tree to have ever attended university. My parents immigrated to Canada in the 1960s from England, when my dad was transferred by the chemical company he worked for. In the United Kingdom in the 1950s and 1960s, it was very rare for working-class kids to attend university. And before my parents' generation, my family tree consists of branches populated by Welsh coal miners, Irish sailors, and English factory workers. My parents' decision to leave their families and move across the Atlantic ultimately provided me and my brother with opportunities that had been denied my parents, grandparents, and all the generations before them. Now, not having any family members who had attended university, the entire post-secondary world was literally uncharted territory for me and my family. So when I was finishing high school and advised by my guidance counselor to go to university in order to become an engineer due to my high grades in math and science, my parents were encouraging. University, they believed, was a path to a good, respectable, well-paying job and a solid middle-class life. Armed with an entrance scholarship and money I'd saved by working during the summers, I set off to become a chemical engineer, whatever that was. Now here's where the story, at least from my parents' point of view, goes cloudy or even worse. The truth is that I did fine in my engineering, math, and science courses that first year, but I found them boring. And the only class that I attended with any regularity or enthusiasm was my mandatory liberal arts elective, an introductory history class that I took in my freshman year. By the December break of my first year, I transferred my major from engineering to history and was secretly set to embark on an exciting new path, albeit a path that led to an unknown destination. Miraculously, I successfully completed all of my courses that first year, but somehow, quote, forgot to tell my parents about the change in my educational and career plans. I returned home one evening the next summer after working a shift at the auto parts factory where I was employed to find my parents sitting at the dining room table. The report card from my freshman year had arrived in the mail, and they had some questions. My grades were fine, but they couldn't understand the schedule for my sophomore year that was listed at the bottom of my student records. I was scheduled to take courses in American history, Canadian history, modern Chinese history, art history, and archaeology. And none of this sounded anything like an engineering program that they could imagine, or a pathway to a career with a reliable paycheck each week. Well, here it was, and that evening I had to break the news to my parents that I'd switched majors. I was now pursuing a dreaded Bachelor of Arts degree in history. The reaction, although not nuclear, was not far off. I was throwing away my life and the opportunities that a university education could provide. Needless to say, we didn't talk much over the next few years as I took courses in Japanese and Chinese language, Buddhism, Taoism, and other more obscure Chinese religions and philosophies, Asian geography and politics, medieval theology, and even other more esoteric topics. Now, when I returned home for the Christmas holidays in my senior year, my parents were not only happy to see me, but were surprisingly excited to hear how I was doing at school. When we sat down for dinner, they explained that their newfound enthusiasm for my history degree was due to something they had recently learned. What was this, I asked? Well, it seemed that someone had told them that most lawyers begin their studies with undergraduate degrees in history or political science. And therefore, it was obvious that I had been secretly preparing to be a lawyer this entire time. Unfortunately, my parents' happiness was short-lived. When I then told them that instead of going to law school, I'd already applied to several universities for graduate studies in Asian history. So now, not only wasn't I not going to be an engineer, but they wouldn't even be able to say that their son was going to be a lawyer. Now, in the spring of 1989, I was accepted to begin my graduate studies in modern Chinese history, literally at the same time and half a world away from 1 million university students and workers who were occupying Tiananmen Square in Beijing, demanding that the communist government listen to their proposals for political and structural reforms. After moving to Toronto, I spent the next several years taking advanced courses in Chinese and Japanese language, spent a year living in China conducting fieldwork, and eventually got around to writing my doctoral dissertation. The reason why I'm telling you this is because I think that universities should be places that inspire you to follow your dreams. I was lucky enough to get a tenured university position and found myself becoming a Dean of Graduate Studies, then Dean of a university's Faculty of Arts, and then a Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost, a position for which I have been fortunate to serve at the Mount for the past 2 years. However, despite being employed for more than a quarter of a century, I honestly think my parents don't think I have a real job yet. For them, and many like them, a university is where you go to get training and credentials. In short, a pathway to an easily identifiable career. Many of you who are graduating today have followed such a path, thankfully, in the minds of your parents and families. But a university education is also much more than this. It's a window to a wider world, a place to explore new interests, to gain an appreciation of the many religions, cultures, languages, and traditions that make up this amazing planet we inhabit. In preparing for today's address, I read dozens of graduation talks by famous politicians, artists, business leaders, and celebrities. All of them said that the keys to giving a successful graduation address are 1, be concise, 2, be funny, and 3, don't talk about the future. As I've already failed with the first 2 criteria, we might as well make it a clear sweep and talk about your futures. Several authors and film directors, perhaps most notably Steven Spielberg, have used the phrase, the greatest generation, to describe those who lived through the Great Depression, who then went on to fight in the Second World War, and who then helped to rebuild the post-war world in the late 1940s and 50s. Admittedly, it's impossible not to be inspired by this generation, who participated in establishing FDR's New Deal programs, and in so doing paved the way for many of the social programs we benefit from to this day. The personal, family, and national sacrifices made by this generation during the war years are also impossible for us to imagine today, more than 70 years later. This being said, however, I also believe that you are destined to be an equally crucial generation in our history. I'm not saying this flippantly, as I believe that we are in fact counting on you to solve the challenges facing our world, this nation, and this city of angels. Challenges such as global warming and climate change, racism and gender disparities in society and the workplace, the plight of the homeless, which is impossible to ignore in this great city of ours, and the disparities of wealth that divide not only the citizens of this nation, but also divide the developed from the developing world. Whether the degree that is being awarded to you today is a Master of Business Administration or a Master's in Religious Studies, Humanities, Film and Television, Creative Writing, Education, Psychology, Health Policy and Management, or Nursing, the skills and knowledge you have collectively mastered must collectively be harnessed if we, or you, are to solve any of these problems. While today is a day to be celebrating the accomplishments with your family, friends, and faculty mentors, I would also like to pose a challenge. Simply put, the world needs you to be engaged in issues that may at first appear to be too distant or too daunting. While wars, conflict will no doubt continue to plague the world, the battles I'm asking you to take up are for people's hearts and minds. The issues facing us are intimidating, but must not be viewed as impossible to solve or beyond our grasp. I realize that what I'm asking of you is not fair, and it's like having your parents ask you to clean up your sister's or brother's room when they've split and gone to Coachella for the week. Now, you didn't make the mess, but I implore you to help us clean it up. In short, I guess that I'm asking you all to live lives of purpose and meaningfulness. The Mount's graduating class of 2018, you are here today celebrating your individual efforts as well as an education that has prepared you for both a career and an exciting future. However, I implore you to remember that your education has not merely prepared you for a job. It was also an education that strove to improve your spirit, your appreciation of new cultures. It opened you to the world and hopefully made you eager to continue to pursue new knowledge and be engaged in your world, perhaps through further studies, but also through traveling, volunteering, and helping your fellow man. Lastly, I want to remind you that no matter what people might say about you today or in the future, you're already a far better daughter or son than this guy up here in the red robe because you've actually attended your own graduation. Now, I hope that you all have an amazing day and a great time celebrating with your family and friends tonight. Thank you, graduates, for this opportunity to address you today. And now I'd like to invite Jessica Burnett, class of 2018, and the recipient of the Master of Fine Arts in Creative Writing, to the lectern on behalf of the graduating class.
Good afternoon, honored guests and fellow graduates. Our feet are at the edge of the cliff. There is nowhere to return to. We cannot move backwards. We move forward. Book by book, word by word, tear by tear, we are here, crossing this threshold alone. No family, no friends, loved ones, or enemies move with us, but our footprints have dug into the center, igniting hope, providing tangible proof that resilience, fortitude, knowledge, these gifts are cultivated and exercised like a muscle under extensive circumstances. Circumstances when we doubted others, circumstances when we doubted ourselves. But we have gained mountains of wealth from this journey. We have surpassed all of our doubts and fears. Yes, you, and even you, because you sit in this room among women and men who were with you, digging for better, uplifting a foundation that was buckling under pressure, alleviating a sore passion, seeking daylight. Your brothers and sisters are here, and we have received that crown, completing what we have promised, fulfilling our intention that we planted when we gave our hand to the mount and committed to completion and mastery. I encourage you, sister, to continue to be resilient, to be relentless in digging trenches to your dreams. Take no detours, be fearless. I encourage you, brother, to continue practicing your craft, exemplifying your unique craftsmanship that sets you apart from the dreamers. We can do great things when we believe we can. Everyone in this room believes that because we have made it to this threshold. To the class of 2018, those courageous enough to recommit to another hurdle of academia, to pursue one's calling, and to find your tribe. Like-minded people who are passionate about what you're passionate about, and like-minded faculty. We have grown and we have been chiseled into resilient, light-bearing Athenians. And may we, graduating class of 2018, break down every barrier and overcome every obstacle as we pioneer new paths of success and inspire future graduates. May they know that it is possible, no matter what age you are, to fight for better and succeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica, for those words on behalf of your fellow graduates. I can see that you have a bright future ahead of you. And now the moment that all our accomplished graduates have been waiting for, the awarding of their degrees. Presenting the official proclamation for the degrees will be Thomas Blumenthal, the Chair of the Board of Trustees. Graduates will be hooded by faculty from their academic programs, and the diplomas will be awarded by Dr. Anne McElhaney Johnson, President. Our reader today is Dr. Melissa Pagan, Assistant Professor in our Religious Studies Department.
To all who shall read these present letters, Mount St. Mary's University sends greetings in the Lord. Be it known that the following candidates, having shown themselves worthy according to the standards of the constitutions and requirements of this university, have been promoted to the master's degree with all the rights and privileges and honors thereunto appertaining. In witness, therefore, we have subscribed our names and affixed the seal of the university, given in the city of Los Angeles on the 4th day of May in the year of our Lord, 2018, signed by Thomas Blumenthal, Chair of the Board of Trustees, and Ann McElhaney Johnson, President.
For the Master of Arts in Humanities, William Frank Guzman. Patricia Noel Barbary. Tracy T. Reddix. Joaquin Alfonso Gonzalez. Brandon Terrell Hanner. Deidre Nanard Contreras Estrada. Sarah Magana Cepeda. Marianne Ivonne Nguyen. Elizabeth Robles Jimenez. Janice Hoff Nelson. Tiffany Marie Pineda. Carolina Yvette Santos. For the Master of Arts in Religious Studies, Lisa Marie Sierra. Celine Rose Gomez. Matthew Fontaine. Hong Pak Hakamimi. Jose Luis Diaz. For the Master of Science in Counseling Psychology, Eric Armando Mejia. Jade Ishikawa. Charles Faruja. Margarita Sandoval. Yesenia Guerra. Leandra Ale. Robin Lanisa Maxiel. Melody Lopez. Claire Carillo Martinez. Nancy Lopez Villarreal. Cynthia Gomez. Brianna Silva. Larissa Flores. Julie Yan. Patricia Gonzalez. Giselle Martel de Sardeneta. Araceli Aguilar Cigaran. Noah Zaki. Manuel Esteban Gomez. Jasmine Forrester. Noylin Mary George. Ashley Marilyn Juarez. Russell Thomas. Catherine Cohn Lee. Janelle Villanueva de Vera. Vanessa Molina. Lorraine Rose Iocolano. Jennifer Marie Trainer. Latanya Sampson. Dawn Marie Jackson. Shannon Williams. Renee Jacques Curry. Brianna Mercedes White. Bridget Ford. Leslie Ann Fajardo. Christopher Tashjian. Catherine Lee. Zinat Afzali Hashmi. Lyric Marie Oliver. Rocio Aime Delgado. Haya Avedtisyan. Arlene Sano Zolu. Karen Joelle Fragi. Luce Rebolledo. Diana Valdez Garcia. Griselda Noemi Hueso. Sanam Moradi. Yesenia Cruz Mendoza. Laura Stephanie Ramirez Cuartas. Iliana Chavez Gonzalez. Natalie Gomez. Jocelyn Maria Castillo Yip. Jessica Castillo. Jessica Argueta. Janine Monterosa. Alejandra Cardoso Aguilera. Juliana Solorzano. Rebecca Maria E. Rajeta. Christina Lopez. Yvonne Thelma Campuzano. Jessica Hernandez. Denise Monteroso. Noel Tridress. Michelle Villa. Denise Kate Vallejo. Karen Plasencia. Senia Carolina Centeno. Desiree Liquote. Sandra Ramirez Barrios. Martha Maria Rodriguez. Nelly Casas. Alejandra Kenia Ipina. Marina Alejandra Villanueva. Leticia Arteaga. Michelle Hernandez. Daisy Mascoro. For the Master of Science in Education, Amanda Pumelia. Sarah Ann Myers. Irma Yunira Rivas Beasley. Joseph Anthony Canales. Elisa Janet Mackey. Gabriela Emma Gutierrez Gulano. Joanna Martinez. Jessica Margaret Davis. Samantha Gabriela Bravo. Nicole Alexandria Rojas. Melissa Gisette Chacon. Rachel Lynn Lauerman. Mayra Alejandra Villegas. Melissa Alejandra Rivas. Olivia Seagulls Bittetti. Yadira Gutierrez Regalado. Lorena Velasquez. Janet Polanco. Mayra Lisette Rivas. Edward Chavez. Sarina Lisbeth Gallardo. Annabelle Juarez. Judith Vasquez. Jessica Marie Venegas. Sarah Maria Peraza. Catherine Christine Halverson. Sister Sarah Chiplinski. Diane Marie Patroni. Lauren Liana Reyes. Eva Esther Hart. Tiffany Lynn. Alice Anetta Music. Esri Michelle Salazar. Daisy Marlene Leon. Rita Celeste Valencia. Sydney Carlton Pipkin. For the Master of Science in Health Policy and Management, Joanna Elizabeth Polanco. Marlena Robles. Frane Valle. Erica Maldonado Aviles. Patricia Murphy. Laura Ruiz Romero. Kathleen Linda Hernandez. Catherine Rojo Ayan. Nicole Roxanne Codd. For the Master of Science in Nursing, Arvela Marie Case. Michelle Page Hilly. Aida Begoli Chose. Maria Catherine de Leon Ortega. Debbie Poon. Vicky Lynn Kimball Padilla. For the Master of Business Administration, Claudia Iraeta. Arnel Abeleda. Kimberly Young Sterling. Alexandria S. Bonilla. Albert John Juan. Margarita Scatolati. Kimberly Yakenli Fontaine. Tamara Aguilar. Adela Ramirez. John Brito Anand. Katia L. Gamboa. Jeremy Vaughn Alale. Jessica Ann Bradford. Christian Wilberto Reyes. Regina Martinez. Monica Therese Aquino. Yanira Liseth Gomez. Kimberly Couture. Keith Barrington Cooper. Denise. Denise Alexandra Carrera. Tania Estefany Torres Mancia. Crystal Sanchez. Ryan Shepard. Nolan Victor Farkas, Sr. Yukong Xiao. Manjinder Kaur. Chintaka Mutumala. Svetlana Fusekova. Mehmet John Koot Alakush. Vanessa Elizabeth Faulkner. Sarah Kunas. Michelle Mi Su. Severine Laura Kukierman. Cassandra R. Colby. Sharokina Itana Haji. Mi Tran. Darla Malane Ferguson. Armando Ruiz. Jasmine Areguin Perez. Thank you. Jasmine N. Ali. Chantal Gabrielle Divinity. Alan Keith Caldwell. For the Master of Fine Arts in Creative Writing, Lynn Ann Lipinski. Anthony Solorzano. Ashunda Arceline Norris. Christina Alexandra Rivera. Elena Elvira Miranda. Sharon Elaine Cleveland Blunt. Jane Matt. Loreto Nacor Gonzalez, Jr. Michael Alexander Becerra. Pedro A. Martinez. For the Master of Fine Arts in Film and Television, Jason Paul Rose. Evan A. Baker. Jennifer Elizabeth Cooper. Jessica Hope Burnett. Amanda Sue Wilson Ekman. Kat Commander. Shakisha Pryor. Nakorn Chaisi. Paris Bianca Corbett. Brianna Michelle McElroy.
It is now my pleasure to introduce Gail Kraus, the Assistant Director of Campus Ministry for Mount St. Mary's University.
I am honored to close this joyful and hope-filled ceremony. As a fellow alum of the Humanities Program, class of 2013, I know the joys and the agonies that you all went through to get to this amazing day. And I know that you are ready to go out and change the world as our founders, the Sisters of St. Joseph, have done for hundreds of years. And so, let us pray. O God, our light, on this amazing day and for the rest of our lives, we ask you to shine in our hearts and in our actions. May we, like the Sisters of St. Joseph, love our neighbors without distinction, with humility and charity. May we always strive for excellence, tempered by gentleness, peace, and joy. May we leave this space shining our light in a world so in need of hope and joy. And may you, our graduates, be empowered as unstoppable agents of change. And may the Assembly say, Amen.
We thank all of you for joining us today. Please remain in your seats until the faculty and administration process down the aisle. You may then meet the graduates and begin your celebrations. Once again, let us congratulate the graduates of the class of 2018.